Well, so I got one, but mine's not blue. It's red. It says red. It's got two dots in case you can't read red, and they look kind of pink. All right, official clock of the U.S. Chess Federation. It's got a little thing right there. Let's open it, see if I can do that with, got the old rust lock out. So we'll just go in here, cut it like that. It's not wrapped in any wrapping or anything. There's no bubble wrap or anything like that. It said new somewhere on it. It says new right there. I have the feeling it might be repackaged, but I don't know. That's what the inside looks like. No, doesn't come with batteries. Don't know if it's supposed to, but there's no batteries. So I'll see if I can find some double A's and see if it works. We'll read that information there. All right, so you're looking at the ZMF tap and set clock. I really like it. I thought it was going to have all the features of the ZMF2 plus being able to set it with the phone, but it does not. In this manual here, which is dated 2019, even though I bought this in November of 2024, on the second page, it does mention that it has hourglass. It's right in there. And so I went online and they have three versions of the manual, not 2019, the 2020, and the 2021 manual, digital. And the 2021 manual says it does not have hourglass. This does not have all the features of the ZMF2 clocks, which are those LED clocks. In other words, it does not have the Canadian Biomi or the Biomi for Go players over time. It does not have the scorekeeping mode, which I think is really cool that the ZMF2 clocks have. I could use the scorekeeping mode in my classroom for when we have review games with teams and stuff. I don't have a clock that does that, but I think that's really cool about those LED clocks. And it doesn't have the hourglass mode. I use the hourglass mode for testing sometimes on one of my clocks that'll let me set the hourglass mode beginning at 0, so I can show elapsed time and a time remaining on test because both clocks are running at the same time. But other than that, I have no use to play an hourglass chess game or any other kind of game with the hourglass mode, so I don't care about that. And I don't play Go, so I don't care about the Biomi. I do play Scrabble, so I'm happy that it has Scrabble. All right, let's look at this clock. It is plastic. This part of the plastic seems very sturdy. These rubber feet, they hold it. It doesn't slide, but it is rather lightweight, and I like that actually. But it feels sturdy. This part plastic here, I thought was metal at first. It's so tough, the top part. Down here is a little weaker plastic. This battery cover is a little janky. It is clear, so you can see that I'm using Ever-Ready batteries. If I could afford Duracell, I could probably afford the ZMF Pro Clock or the ZMF Tap and Set Pro Clock. But since I can't, I'm not buying Duracells either. That switch, you know, my old Cytec clock I've had since mid-2000s. They came out around 2005. I've had it sometime between 2005 and 2007. I've had that clock. It has slide switches, and they've worked fine. This one may be a little more flimsier than that, but I don't know that it'll go off or on. And then this is the equivalent of the red set button on the ZMF2s. And I think the ZMF Pros and ZMF, I've never played with the ZMF Pros or the ZMF Tap and Set Pros. I think their red button is on the top, but this button's on the side here, and it's okay, you know? So let's look at it. When you turn it on, you've got 3 settings. I like to play 3-2, so that's one of my favorites, so that's there. I like to play a 5-0 blitz, and I like to play a 25-5, okay? So what I really like about this is that the delay is over here in the corner. All right, so you can see how much delay time you have without your main time flashing or replacing. I have some clocks where it replaces the main time. I think on the ZMF2 clocks, when I've played with them, a guy at my chess club has one, I really like it, but when the delay, it flashes and it's so bright, you know, especially when you're playing in maybe a dimly lit area. So I like the fact that the delay just kind of ticks right there. You know how much delay time you got, and you know this, and it's not flashing the main time or anything like that. Okay, right down here is where the low battery indicator would be. So when my batteries run out, it'll be right there. So I'll know that I have low battery. So that's what that area is for right there. I could turn this sound off, and we're about to do that because I like it without the sound. I love the LEDs on top. So let me show you to reset it. I can modify the game once the game started, but to go into completely different settings, you got to turn it off, turn it on. You don't have to flip it over. I just did that so I can show you what I'm doing. You know, so I could flip it off and flip it on right there behind it without doing that. So, and then you hit the menu button, okay, and it goes through here. And if I hold the menu button down for a few seconds, I don't know if it's 3 or 5 or whatever, it blinks. All right, so that goes to play mode. If I like that, I can go to hour and minutes. I can set the minutes and seconds. Now this clock does show seconds remaining with anything under an hour. Some clocks only show seconds remaining with anything under 20 minutes, but this one shows it with anything under an hour, which is good. And then some clocks showed seconds remaining at all times. So this one is only going to show seconds remaining at under an hour, which is better than 20 minutes, but not as good as all times. All right. This is the delay mode. So if I want to set the delay mode, turn the delay mode off, just like that. Go to 0. I can set it for whatever delay I want to. I don't know how high it goes, but probably goes to 99 if you wanted a 90-second delay. It might only go to 30. Let's find out. Yeah, it goes all the way up. You can hold it like that. It goes like that. It only goes to 60, doesn't it? So up to a 60-second delay. We're going to turn delay off. All right. So go to the next mode, which is increment. Let's set the increment mode. You hit that again, and that blanks. We'll set a 30-second increment for funsies. Boom. All right, 30-second increment. All right, that's for multiple period play. Easy to do. Just hold it like this. Okay, period 1. Let's say you want 40 moves, boom. How long you want the 40 moves for? Let's say 60 minutes. It goes in groups of 5, you can hold it down, 60 minutes, boom. All right, and if you wanted a second period, sudden death period all, if you want to change that to a period 2, okay, how many moves for period 2? You know what, let's do another 40, 60. All right, 40, and hit that, and 60. All right. That's set. And then the third period has to be your sudden death. So let's say there's a 30-minute sudden death period. Okay? Boom. Boom. Come on. This is sensitive, so my back of my thumb touches that. It hits it. All right. So there we go. We got that set like that. Scrabble is off. That means it counts up. I do like to play Scrabble. I haven't played since my late wife passed away many years ago. But when she was alive, she and I would play Scrabble. She wasn't a chess player, and we liked using Scrabble clocks. They count up at the end of the time period. I think Scrabble is normally a 25-minute game, and then once it gets to 0, it starts counting up, and you get penalized points for every minute or fraction of a minute you're over. So if you go overtime 1 second or 10 seconds or 59 seconds, you lose 10 points. If you go over a minute or a minute and 10 seconds or a minute and 59 seconds, you lose 20 points. You go over 2 minutes, you lose 30 points, things like that. So that's how Scrabble works. So we got Scrabble off. All right, go to the next one. This FIDE tournaments, the clock stops when somebody gets to 0, the clock no longer functions, and whoever got to 0 automatically loses. In the United States and USCF tournaments, you have to notice that your opponent's clock ran out. And so if your opponent's clock runs out and you don't notice it, and then your clock runs out and your opponent notices it and says, flag, okay, you got flagged first, and you can't prove that your clock didn't run out before them. So you've got to declare that the clock ran out on your opponent in USCF. So we keep FIDE off because I live in the United States, and that's how we play here. All right, next mode, that's on. So we go to next mode, increment. This lets you set the increment either pre or post move. And so with pre-move, I think it sets the increment when you hit the clock, it gives the increment to your opponent in post move. It gives the increment to you when you hit the clock. I think that's how it works. So let's go to a post thing with it. All right, post, we'll leave it like that, and I'll show you what it will mean. All right, LEDs on. I like the LEDs showing. That's these two lights at the top. All right, sound. I hate the sound. You can hear the sound. It's that little thing like that. And so we're going to turn the sound off because I want it quiet. Play. That means we're ready to play. And all we got to do now is, that goes back. Hit it like this, and we're ready to play. So we've got our game in an hour. All right, with a 30-second increment. And we're ready to play. You don't have to hit a pause button. I like that. You just start your opponent's clock. Really like that. There's no play pause button in the center. So you do this the old fashioned way. So right there, you don't have to set who's white or who's black. Okay. And so you see the 30 seconds. Okay. And you can't really see the 30 seconds. Now it's got to the minute when it, so you see it sets with the post. It gives you the increment when you hit your clock. With the pre, it gives you the increment when your opponent hits their clock. All right? So anyway, ZMF2, I'm sorry, not ZMF2, the ZMF tap and set. Now I can't show you how to set it with the phone because I'm using the phone to record this video. And I will show you a little bit about how easy the app is, but it does set real easy. It only sets once you turn it on. It will not reset or anything. So you've got to turn it off, turn it on, and now you're ready to set it with the phone app. Once you've started a game, your phone apps won't reset it or anything. You have to turn it off, turn it on, and then it's willing to receive the phone.
Well, now when you open the app that sets the phone by tapping it, it opens with the U.S. Chess Federation logo because it's the official clock of the U.S. Chess Federation. The first page is for favorites, and you can save several favorites, but the clock only saves 3, so I just deleted one for you. All right, to write it to the clock, and you hit that right button, and that's what sets the clock. You put a little check mark by the one you want, and you hit the right button, and then down at the bottom and tap it to the clock. The second page is for a single time control, but let's go back, or actually that's for the presets, and that's for the single time control. You could set one for player 1, one for player 2, but let's go back and look at the presets. 73 different presets you can use. So these are common tournaments in the U.S. and U.S. Chess Federation time controls. And you can just set that, and it'll give you a description in that little box of what it is. Or you can set it individually, hours, minutes, seconds, and you can set first player and second player with different time controls if you want. Down toward the bottom, you can set your increment, your bonus time, or your delay time. And it doesn't do Bronstein delay, it just does U.S. delay because it's the U.S. Chess Federation clock, right? Who uses Bronstein delay anyway, right? Anyway, you could set the beep on, or that's the sound rather, and you can set it to your favorites. And then if you want to tap the clock, you just hit right and it'll tap the clock and set the clock to whatever time control you set. Now it saved that one in favorites. Like I said, I don't need that one in favorites, so we'll go back. Now let's go take a look at the multiple period time controls here. So there's your presets again. You swipe right again. There's the multiple period time controls. You can set first, second, and third period. And like I said, your increment delay and turn your sound on, which is called beep. Once you get it set, you hit right and you tap the clock. And this is for Scrabble. It only lets you set minutes for Scrabble and turn the sound on or off.
Hey, I'm Big Lou, and this is Big Lou too. And I want to thank you for watching my review of the ZMF tap and set clock. It may be going away. You know, this clock is no longer seen on the ZMF website, and my phone's a little crooked. All right, no longer seen on the ZMF website. You can still see this at many of the distributors, and it's still at USCF sales. It's the official clock of the USCF, but they've got the Tap and Set Pro on the ZMF website, but they do not have this clock there available at the ZMF. I think it's Smart Chess, ZMART Chess is the website or whatever. It's not on there, so maybe they're changing it. But hey, there's not a lot of YouTube videos about this clock except from the ZMF company and a few others. And so I thought I'd do a detailed review for you. Hope you've enjoyed it.
I think this clock's going to last many years. That switch is something I'd rather see a button there. So if they do update it, I'd rather see a button here instead of the switch. I think that'd last longer. And yeah, this clear battery cover is, it's a little, I got it in there. You know what, I'm getting better at it. The first few times I tried to put that battery cover on, it didn't do well. But anyway, I like it. I'm impressed with it. And I'm going to enjoy using this. Thank you for watching. Big Lou 2. Well, I know this video's gone on long enough, but I want to show some things that I've noticed since I've had this clock a little longer now, since I recorded that first part of the video. And I've got to use it several times with my high school chess club with some kids that I play with. And I've used it with my son. And anyway, notice some things. Okay, so I've got it set for a 90-minute game, hour and 30. Right here, it says increment, and it shows the increment time. Now, when it's delay, it shows the delay time, and it counts it down. All right? Right down here is an area where they'd have the battery low icon, but it's a rather big area. Why don't they just put the delay time and the increment time right there? And then these two digits up here could count down your seconds at times over an hour for like these 90 minutes. So I do have the sound on. I don't normally like the sound on, but I have the sound on. So you see, it's right there. And it adds the increment. You know, but why not have that count the seconds when you're up above an hour? You know, so it's showing an hour and 30 minutes, and then it could count the seconds right there. Right down here, I'm not sure what this blank space is here. It's not shown for tenths of seconds. But they could show the increment time maybe there or something. I don't know. Let's see. It just makes sense that if that counts down for delay, why didn't it just count down seconds when you're above an hour? I mean, you don't need to know that, hey, it's always a 30-second increment or a 2-second increment as I have displayed here. Just know what so I know I got an hour and 29 minutes and however many seconds, and you can display, the seconds could display right there. I don't understand why it's not that way. So let's turn it off real quick. Turn it back on. You can see there's the battery icon, and this is just dead space down here. You can see that. Do it again real quick, okay? Look at that area underneath it. There's no icons that show up there. So I don't understand why they couldn't show the seconds ticking down and maybe the increment time either here or right there. So anyway, just my thoughts on it. Thanks for watching this video. It's gone long enough. And I'll show you what this clock looks like when it counts down with the tenths of seconds underneath, a minute. Under 60 seconds, it shows tenths of seconds. And this is what it does when it goes out. Doesn't beep during the last 5 seconds.